Hello and welcome to module number 6, where we are discussing the date function. So we need to get from the date of birth the month in which the person was born, as well as the day in which they were born. Then we'll also calculate the age. But before we complete these columns here, I just want to show you different types of date functions. So I will go to the end here, so you can also come to the end, maybe to a column like U, and just type in date on first column, and then next one you type in year, and then month, then day, and then day of week, and then week number. So these are all pieces of information we can get from the date. So in other words, if we type in a date like 29th of June 2020, if that is our date, we want to be able to use a date function to extract the year from here. We take what month it was, what day it was, which day of the week this date was, and also what was the week number. So we know that a year generally will have 52 or 53 weeks. So we can extract from here to say what was the week number on this particular date. So the functions we are going to use are almost exactly the names on top here, right? So we always start with an equal sign. So we say equal to year. So by now you should know that a function must have a bracket, year of that date, and then you close, right? So that's all there is to it, equal to the year of that particular date, and you press enter and it gives you the year 2020. If you want the month, you say equal to the month, open bracket, of that particular date, then you press enter and it gives you 6. The day, equal to day, open bracket, of that particular date, you press enter. So now you are splitting your date into the year, the month, and the day. Now the day of week, we say equal to week day, right? So we call it weekday, weekday, open bracket, then of that date, and you press enter. So this date is on a Monday, so that is why the weekday is 2, because Sunday is the first day of the week. And then the week number will be equal to week NUM for week number, then open bracket and the date, and you close. So on top here, maybe we can change this to weekday and week number, so that we have the exact name of the function on the top there. So using the apostrophe that I mentioned earlier on, we can change this one and put apostrophe, and then we make it year and then space, and then we type in U2 like that. So now it gives you the actual formula that we have put in here, equal to year of U2. So if you want that equal sign also to come up here, you can put it inside after the apostrophe. So that equal sign will no longer be seen as a formula, because remember, once you put an apostrophe, it cancels any formula or function in front of it. So it just becomes an ordinary string. So it will now show as equal to year of U2. This one can simply say apostrophe equal to month, open bracket, of U2. So I'm just typing in now the exact formulas as they are, so that you have got them right in front of you. Apostrophe equal to day of U2. So these are the date functions. Apostrophe equal to week day. So remember, if we don't put the apostrophe, it's going just to give us the formula, and here it will show the actual number, not this text. So the apostrophe makes this ordinary text and not a formula. Weekday of U2, and then apostrophe equal to week number of U2. Right. So these are the most common date functions where you are extracting a date. Now we can do some calculations with the date. So let's do some calculation with the date. Let's put a date here, 29/06/20. So let's say addition. Then I say equal to this date plus 365. So if it is a date and you say plus or minus, it assumes you are adding a number of days, right? You are adding number of days. So I'll say equal to that date plus 365. So you'll see that it takes me exactly 1 year further. So it now becomes 29 June 2021 because I added 365. Let's say, for example, okay, here let's say add 365 days, but at the bottom I'm going to add 30 days. So the same date, 29/06/2020, I now say equal to in this, on this field I say equal to then that date plus 30 days. So when I put 30 days, it now becomes 29 of July 2020. And then let's say subtract 365 days. So we start with 29 June 2020. Then we say equal to that date minus 365. It gives us June 2019. Right, so now it goes to 30th of June 2019. So whether you get the same day or not depends on whether you've got a leap year, 29 days in February, or whether you've got 28 days in February in any one of the 2 years that the formula spans. Okay, so that's your ordinary addition and subtraction. So this is useful. Say for example, if we say the start date start date of a course is 29 June 2020, and then we say the duration of the course is 5 days, right? Duration of the course is 5 days. All right, so you can see that this one now is formatted as a date. So what I need to do is to right click, then I say format cells, and I come to number and I make it a ordinary number, so it becomes a 5. Then I can now say the end date. So if the 5 days are including the 29, then it means that we add the 5, but we must subtract a 1 because it is inclusive of the start and the end. So we say equal to this plus the duration subtract 1, right? Because it's start to end, and then but it's inclusive of the start and the end date. So now it tells you that the course will end on the 3rd of July 2020. So that's what we use, say, to automatically find is end date if we've got a start date and a duration, or if we had the start date and the end date and we wanted to find the duration, we would simply say the end date minus the start date. Say, for example, here if we say equal to the end date minus the start date, and it gives us 4 days. But remember, here we subtracted a 1 when we're getting the end date, so meaning that on this formula we must also add a 1 because it is inclusive of the start and the end. So it will be equal to the end date minus the start date, but we must add a 1. Then it gives us the actual duration of 5 days, right? So let us go back now to our worksheet, and then we can simply plug in the month, which we already now know, equal to month of that date. We press enter, and then the birth date, day equal to day of that date, and you press enter. So then you could repeat for all these other ones, but we can just copy. So equal to day of that, and to close. Right. So instead of repeating, I'll just highlight these two, then I'll copy here. So I'm going to do the age in the next video because this one is approaching 15 minutes now. So I'm going to close now, and then you can either wait for the next video, or you can already complete this birth month and birthday before you proceed to the next video.